Hey everybody, Ryan Alexander here with Denison Yachting.
And I'm Chris Collins.
Today Chris and I are going to be showing you around the listing that we have here at the Monaco Yacht Show.
She's a 47-meter, 150-foot Heesen yacht built back in 2015. A really good platform that I think we built 15 or 16 hulls of them, so really well done.
Yeah, and at 499-ish gross tons, there's a ton of awesome interior spaces that we're going to be showing you. My personal favorite space on board the boat is the Sky Lounge.
Sky Lounge is great. Flower bridge as well, huge area for entertaining.
So for the next 15, 20, who knows, maybe 25 minutes, we're going to show you every space on board. We're going to talk about a few things that we like about this boat. We're going to show you the mechanical spaces.
And the rest of the accommodation. She's obviously a fully staffed vessel with accommodation for crew, a full setup in the galley, and a really nice interior.
We're going to get today's walkthrough started up here on the Sundeck. And the reason we wanted to get things kicked off here is last night we actually had a company event up here.
Like 30 odd people, very comfortable. You actually could have had a couple more people on board, and yeah, everybody complimented the space up here.
And what you really see is that you have these sort of segmented spaces on this deck, and each one seems to attract almost a different personality.
You can hang out in the back here, or you can go lay out on the front with the hot tub.
Taking a look at this deck, space by space, let's start in the aft, where we first see an open-air seating area that has become a hallmark in this Heesen series. It's hard to overstate the size of the area, which features radial seating along the aft for 8 to 10 guests. A bonus feature back here is the removable sunshade overhead covering the entire aft section of the Sundeck. The middle portion of this deck is designated as the most used bar on board when you're entertaining. Located over on the port side, guests can grab a seat along a raised bar top integrated into the molded-in wet bar. Located behind the bar is substantial storage, refrigeration, a stainless sink, and there's even a plancha grill found above a polished stainless refrigerator. This bar is located opposite an open space where the owner likes to have workout equipment. This equipment can easily be removed when you're looking to create a more formal environment. The third and final area we have to take a look at up here is the jacuzzi, which is the forwardmost feature on this deck. With plenty of open space for lounge seating as seen here, this is where you find yourself when the sun is out and you're moving back and forth between the last pages of your book and the inviting hot tub forward. Shade continues to be a theme up here, as you can see by the two oversized heavy-duty umbrellas that provide shade to the immediate area. The Sundeck of this 47-meter superyacht makes clear the benefits of her tri-deck design, but as we're about to see as we make our way down a level, the alfresco experience isn't limited just to the upper deck. There's a decent amount of symmetry between the Sundeck and the bridge deck aft, but apart from the shared elements, the use of this space varies greatly. The most important space here is the dinette, which we find in the center of the bridge deck. It's here that we see what has become somewhat of a signature style in this series, a hardwood table with a solid wood white stripe that carries fore and aft. Here at the most popular dining space on board is seating for 10 to 12 under the cover of a large molded hardtop. Along the aft, we find not only additional seating areas out in the open, but we also see the observation area offering you a great view of your surroundings through glass finished gunnels. Two other features that I'd like to quickly touch on are the stairs that lead up to the Sundeck, which we've already taken a look at, as well as the stairs that lead down to the main deck. And there's also a wet bar located in the port forward corner. It's in this area that we find a serving buffet, a stainless sink basin, and cold storage. Wrapping up here, follow me forward into the owner's favorite space on board, the luxurious Sky Lounge.
I mentioned this at the top of today's walkthrough, but my favorite space on board this boat is found here in the Sky Lounge. When I was walking through the boat with the captain yesterday, he was saying that one of the owner's favorite things to do is to take all of these cushions and they just lay them all out. You can have a family movie night in here, everybody gets to lay out together, and then you throw something on the TV.
The seating in the Sky Lounge is made up of 3 low-profile sofas arranged towards the aft entry doors. These work together to form the most engaging family room on this yacht, combining both comfort and flexibility. One of the most alluring aspects of the Sky Lounge are the windows flanking the port and starboard sides of the space. These large rectangular windows are a theme throughout this yacht and add to the welcoming feel in each area. In the forward half of the Sky Lounge, the number of uses for this area increases as we next see a bar in the starboard forward corner. This takes full advantage of those large windows that I was mentioning and is located right next to an enclosed wet bar. It's here that we find not only a refrigerator and an ice maker, but also a sink right next to yet another window in the superstructure. Another entertaining area in the Salon is this round high-gloss table that's found right next to the TV. This is a convenient area for impromptu cocktails and a board game with the kids. Rounding out this area is a long desk in the port forward corner.
Wrapping up in the Sky Lounge, we're next going to take the upper deck foyer forward over here on the port side. When you first step in, you pass a dayhead outboard to port, and then just forward of that is the stews nook, also to port, where you have access to a few key kitchen appliances for serving this upper deck, as well as the dumbwaiter that services multiple decks on board. The other important thing to point out about this part of the boat is that this is where we find the staircase that leads up and down from the lower deck to the upper deck. This is the main point of access for both guests and crew for servicing multiple levels. If we continue forward in this foyer, we next arrive at the captain's quarter. This is located inboard and was designed specifically to accommodate the first in command. This is a great time for me to hand things back off to Chris as we take a look at the space where all of the cabling, all the mechanical spaces that we're going to take a look at later, where they all come together, where you control the boat forward in the wheelhouse.
We're in the bridge of Asia. The one thing you get with Heesen when you build with Heesen is you get the latest in electronics and navigation. This boat actually spends some of the time in the Mediterranean, does a couple of charters a year, and then runs on its own bottom back to Dubai where the owners use it at their place.
Something that I have appreciated about the wheelhouse on board Heesen is the consistency. When you go from boat A to boat B, not only do you have like the best in electronics, but the layouts, they're all about the experience of running the boat. You've got a huge view. I mean, it's bigger than 180 degrees when you're standing in
your
here.
Navigation from here, just your visibility alone is really good. Crew enjoy it. You have wing stations on each side, very accessible and stuff. And then once you close that door, navigating at night is really good because this becomes a dark space. So,
what are the kind of the key components that we find here at the helm?
obviously, first and foremost is your navigation, so you know where you're going. Compass. You can check all your systems on here, from your freshwater to your grey tank to your fuel, and obviously radar. Plus there's redundancy, which is very important when you're out in the middle of the ocean.
Having taken a look at mission control, it's next time to step outside through one of two watertight side deck access doors as we transition onto the bow. The foredeck found on this super yacht is one of the most customizable spaces in this series. The way this particular yacht was built created a multi-use deck space. Let's start by looking at where the guests spend their time. Built in centerline is a romantic getaway that faces forward. Here we have U-shaped seating for 4 to 6 that wraps around a cocktail table. This is paired with a large, rounded sun pad immediately forward. The crew also make use of this space, as you see aft of the seating area, where we have a davit and a rescue tender, which are both hidden away. This foredeck features a split layout with the rest of the primary crew area located forward and down a few teak steps. Stepping foot down here, you see that this is where the ground tackle is located, featuring a pair of windlasses that raise and lower her anchors. When you're working in this area, you can do so with full confidence thanks to the deep gunnels that enclose the deck. These give you peace of mind, whether you're passing lines through the long and open fair leads or tying off to the raised deck cleats, making the crew's life easier. Wrapping up on the forward end of the yacht, we're next going to take a look at everyone's favorite area to spend time after you drop the anchor, the beach club. On the other side of a large hydraulic transom door is one of the most distinctive features in the world of super yachting. a climate-controlled garage where you can store and stage all of the water toys carried on board. Found down here is a custom 6.8 meter jet tender with a 260 horsepower Yanmar engine utilizing a stern drive. One of the things that I really like about this tender is the teak-covered dive platform found along the aft. Whether using this tender for dive operations or for wakeboarding, this is a dream setup thanks to the combination of seating and power. The other main source of getting around down here when you're on the hook is this personal watercraft located on the port side of the beach club. This is a great complement to the other water toys found in this area, like a pair of sea bobs. And I'd also like to point out that when you need to, you can enclose this area with safety stanchions that can be moved into place in just a few minutes. Just forward of the swim platform is the storage portion of the garage. Located a few steps down, this is where we find a few great features, like a commercial refrigerator over on the port side, and the AC shore power converters opposite to starboard. The storage in here flanks both sides of the garage where you can stow, among other things, 4 scuba sets and spare tanks. In the port forward corner is a door that opens up into the control room. And here we see a set of stairs that leads down from the main deck, as well as the engineer's desk. Aft is the yacht's laundry center, which offers the crew use of 2 washing machines and dryers, as well as a space for folding laundry. Wrapping up with the beach club and engineer's control room, our next stop is the engine room. Upon entering the mechanical space, we have all the hallmarks you expect to find in a Northern European superyacht. Top-of-the-line machinery, an exceptional layout, and coveted serviceability. Powering the house are a pair of 99 kW Kilopack generators located aft and to each side of the engine room. Other crucial pieces of equipment in here include the AC system located in between the engines, 2 HEM reverse osmosis water makers, and a sewage treatment plant outboard to starboard. Most important in here are the twin MTU 8V4000 M63 engines that move this Heesen across oceans. When she's out of her slip and underway, you can expect to see top speeds of around 16 knots and a cruise speed of around 12 knots. When running at 12 knots, she has a range of about 4,000 nautical miles. From here, our next area on board to cover is the aft deck, which can be accessed port or starboard by way of a Euro transom. This is the final exterior deck space that we have to cover, and it's a crucial one when you consider how much traffic it sees and how it sets the tone for the slower pace of the guest experience. Finished with a teak sole underfoot, the aft deck is important because it's one of the most used areas on board. It features a comfortable seating space that runs along the aft and continues over to starboard. There's also a cocktail table just in front of this seating. Covering this area is a large overhead offering protection from the sun and rain, and is also equipped with LED lighting and speakers. Heading forward, there are 3 routes that you can take. The first is up a set of teak stairs on the starboard side, accessing the bridge deck aft. Then you have the side decks. The port side deck is used by the crew, offering secondary access to the mechanical space, and all of the way forward is the entrance into the crew corridor by the galley. The starboard side deck is more formal and leads to the owner's entrance as well as up to the foredeck. The primary point of access from the aft deck, however, are the hydraulic radial glass doors that lead into the salon.
Having already shown you the Sky Lounge, I'm excited to show you the Salon because it shows you how diverse different spaces on board a boat like this can be. Upstairs in the Sky Lounge, you have a really comfortable, casual space to hang out. When you're in the Salon, you're in a more formal space. One of the areas that really nods to this elegant feel is the corridor when you first step inside. This leads you into this formal salon space where you've got seating for 6 to 8 guests where you can gather together in a conversation pit.
With windows running down both sides of this gathering area, there's plenty of natural light in here to draw your eyes towards all of the details found in the woodwork. Add the overhead and accent lighting, and this is the place to be after you wrap up dinner.
Forward of the living area in the salon, we next enter the formal dining. A point of consistency that I've noticed on most Heesens is how they handle the storage when it comes to the formal dining area. Not only do you have the storage just underneath the windows, you also have banquettes of storage that are found outboard, just aft. Heading forward from the salon, we have two options. Stick to the starboard side, head into the main deck foyer, continue into the master, or take the port side forward, take a look at the galley, and then step down into the crew area. We're gonna do the latter and take a look at where all of your meals are prepared.
The first area that you pass into is the main deck pantry, where we first see a dishwashing area right next to the entrance into the formal dining space. Also located here is a dumbwaiter access point. This services this deck, the bridge deck above, and the Sundeck. Looking inboard, we next see a staircase used by the crew for accessing the bridge deck that leads up next to the captain's cabin. This staircase is next to a Miele coffee machine with a wine cooler directly below. Continuing forward, we next arrive in the main section of the galley, where all of the food prep and the cooking takes place. As you can see, all of the appliances in here are based around a centerline island with countertop space found all around. The cooking takes place on the forward bulkhead, where we have a 3-zone induction cooktop directly above an oven. These are below a stainless extraction hood that draws out most of the fumes. For cleanup, the galley is equipped with a twin basin sink surrounded by countertop space and a second dishwasher. This is an easy area to work in thanks to the 3 huge glass panels that match identical windows in the superstructure. It's in between these 2 sets of windows that we find a companionway which leads down into the crew space. This is where we're headed next. At the foot of the staircase, we first enter the crew common area, where we find an open layout where the crew can get away on their downtime and for meals. Most of the time spent down here is at a long dinette outboard on the port side. On the aft bulkhead is a station where cleanup takes place, featuring a sink, dishwasher, a microwave convection oven, and a built-in coffee maker. Right next to this is the entrance into the first of the crew cabins located below decks. It's in these cabins that the yacht has accommodations for 10 crew members with en-suites found in each of the cabins.
Now that we've shown you the crew accommodations, it's time to show you where the guests stay. And there's no better place for us to start than here in the main deck foyer, because this is where everything connects. Outboard here on the starboard side, we have a hydraulic door that serves as the formal entrance. So the owner is going to get on and off the boat primarily through this formal door right here. We also have that central staircase that I pointed out earlier, leading up to the upper deck and down into the lower guest accommodations. One of my favorite features in this area is this hidden crew access door. This door opens up and it leads into the galley, into the crew area. This makes it really easy for the crew to perform their services. There are 2 other points of access here in this main deck foyer, the first of which is inboard. We've got this day head right here. This comes in really handy, especially when you're using the salon, you're actually entertaining. And then finally, we've got our entrance into the master if we continue forward.
The owner's office is an important part of the design here in the master suite. This is a reason why many are able to get away from the office for a week at a time, because you still have a home base where you can sit down and focus for a few hours at a time when the need arises. This office also provides this suite with plenty of storage and large wardrobes on the inboard bulkhead. This is what would be considered the his closet.
Passing through the owner's office, you next step into the master stateroom proper. And what I really like about this space is the large windows on both sides and the way that they fill this space with light evenly.
It's in here, as well as an area like the Sky Lounge, which we've already taken a look at, where you feel the full 29-foot beam of this yacht. Starting in the middle of the space and working our way out, there's a forward-facing berth with nightstands and reading lamps to both sides. Something that adds to this calming design is the plush seating area outboard on the port side. Looking opposite to the starboard side, we see a vanity that spans the length of the windows. This is where you can sit down and finish getting ready after you pull your clothes out of the walk-in closet that's found just forward of this seating area. Perhaps my favorite aspect of the master is what Heesen has done with the ensuite. There are many yachts that claim to have spa-level amenities. This space actually achieves it. Tranquility is the theme in here, and everything is laid out around a centerline tub. This is several feet away from his and hers vanities with sinks cut from stone. Facing inboard, we see a pair of stalls with glass doors. The aft stall contains the head, while it's behind the forward glass door that we have a large shower.
Now that we've shown you the master accommodations, we want to show you the remaining 4 guest staterooms that are located on the lower level. So we'll pass back through the owner's office into the main deck foyer and pick things up from there.
When you reach the bottom of the main staircase, you arrive in the lower deck landing, where you have access to the 4 remaining guest accommodations. These are a pair of mirrored staterooms, and the first pair that we're going to take a look at are the VIPs found forward. Once you step inside, you get a feel for how quiet and private these suites are. They offer your guests a secluded space to end their days on board, with aft-facing berths near a pair of hull-side windows that are just above the waterline. Looking forward of the windows, we see intricate bookcases that match the level of carpentry seen throughout the rest of the yacht. As I mentioned, there are 2 of these VIP cabins found below decks, and they both have desks at the foot of the beds, as well as TVs that tie into the yacht's entertainment system. It's worth pointing out that most of the entertainment package remains hidden from sight whenever possible, as seen with the speakers mounted into the ceiling. Storage in these cabins is found inboard with hanging lockers that are placed just outside of the entrance into the ensuite. These stone-finished bathrooms stand out because the closer you look, the more detail you see. The vanities are located inboard, and facing outboard, you see a large shower stall with glass doors and windows to the outside world. The final spaces for us to take a look at are the twin cabins, which are located aft of the VIP staterooms. Stepping inside, you see that these are some of the largest twin layout cabins that you'll find on a yacht. Located in the port and starboard side of the hull, these cabins each take up half of the yacht's beam and match the VIPs in both quality and amenities. There are not only desks and entertainment centers on the forward bulkheads, but in here you can also see that the hull-side windows are equipped with electric blinds that raise and lower at the touch of a button. Facing inboard now, I want to point out that there are Pullman berths, adding the ability to sleep a 3rd guest in each of these staterooms. Note that the design of these fold-out berths is clever in that they're stored in the ceiling rather than the wall, making them nearly invisible when not in use. Like the rest of the guest accommodations, these twin staterooms also have en-suites that are accessed aft in between the berths.
So there you have it, 47-meter Heesen Asia. I haven't told you that this is the first year that Denison has had this type of presence at the Monaco Boat Show. So from the display and the team that set it up, all the way to this boat getting into this slip, it's a bit of a dream come true for our company, and we would be nothing without the team that makes it happen and the brokers that show up. So Chris, thanks for showing us around this boat. If people want to find more information about the boat,
Yeah, you can reach out to myself, Chris Collins, or my partner Tom Comboy, and be happy to answer any questions.